Hi there, this is Alvin with kickstartcommerce.com, and in today's tutorial, I'm actually going to be discussing and sharing with you a little insight that I use in terms of trying to figure out whether or not I should buy an expired domain name in auction. And so, in most cases, I participate in using the GoDaddy domain auction as well as Cedo and Namejet, Dynadot, just to name a few, and even Flippa. So the knowledge that I'm going to share with you today is it can be used across multiple platforms. And one of the tools that I use, although I use multiple tools, this is not the only tool that I use that I'll be showing or sharing with you today. And so one of the tools that I use to determine whether or not to buy a domain name is Google Trends. And so Google Trends is interesting because it shows you how well keywords trend. And so a lot of times I will typically go and search and find different geo service domains. So think city plus a service. So for instance, Austin plus house painters, or Austin plus lawn service, or Austin plus lawn. I think you kind of get the point. Geo service domains, or another is let's see here, keywords. And so think of, for instance, you may have something like quality hammocks, high quality hammocks, exotic car lease. .com. And so those are just the generic keywords. And so a lot of times you'll see these in auction and they may have one bid, two bids, sometimes zero. And so one of the things that I do, like I said, using Google Trends, this is just one aspect of probably about five to six different steps and other tools that I'll use in conjunction to this tool to determine whether or not I'm going to actually bid or purchase a domain. So for instance, if we were to go in and say something like if it was austinseries.com. So we look up this word, Austin Series, just to see whether or not it's trending. And at some point back in, looks like from December 2015 until January 2016, it actually was trending high. Now, what this is basically interest over time. And so if you click the help, then it'll show you, it says the numbers represent the search interest relative to the highest point on the chart for a given region and time. A value of 100 is the peak popularity for the term. A value of 50 means that the term is half as popular. Likewise, a score of 0 means the term was less than 1% as popular as the P. So I typically will use this to kind of gauge whether or not I would actually consider purchasing this domain, austinseries.com. Now, for instance, if you're looking at it, I tend to say anything at 50 or really above. So I try to really aim for, like, make sure that it's in between the 50 and the 75 and upwards to 100. Then I would say those are good to go ahead and register or purchase in expired auction. And you can use this, like I said, for expired auction domains, or you can also use it just for brand new domains, just to see the popularity. And so you can also use compare. If you were to compare, you may have, Austin Series A, Austin Series C, Austin Series B, and you want to see which out of the three or two are ranking in comparison to one another over time. And so you can change a bunch of the options that are up here. Web search, you can do image search, news search. I typically search for web, not unless I know that it's like a video, and I'll use it sometimes to see which keywords are actually trending for YouTube videos. You can also select the category. I typically let it be for what it is, but if you wanted to hone it in a bit more, you could for specific industries. So, for instance, if you were looking for black belt training, well, you have Lean Six Sigma training, but you also have martial arts. So you'll want to use the categories appropriately so that you're not distorting or skewing, getting skewed results in terms of the interest over time. And so you can also do for the past 5 years, and or or whatever is listed here in terms of you can do a custom time range or the pre-selected time ranges. You can also do worldwide, or you can hone it down to either a country of your choice. I typically leave it worldwide only because most domains that I will buy are typically at that point either they're geo or they're going to be generic keyword. So Austin series may not be a good one to buy, but if we were looking, let's try high quality hammocks, then you'll see the interest over time. It This is probably not a good representation only because the trend is so quick, um, and then it just dies off. And so high quality hammocks definitely may not be the one. Let's try exotic car lease. And so, for instance, exotic car lease, you can kind of see it really. I guess you'd say. The benchmark is typically somewhere 25%, which is not bad. It looks like it wants to go up, but then again, you never know. Let's try Geo. Let's try Houston IT Services. So this would be HoustonITServices.com. So this is not bad. You can kind of see here that that trend is somewhere around about that 50% mark, and for the most part of it, it's kind of peaking um, well above that 50 at moments in time, and so it looks like we're on the up and up. And so you can see there that it's between there. So, HoustonITServices.com would definitely be a good domain to purchase. Let's try something like Central Truck Sales. Let's see what this brings back. So Central Truck Sales, it's another that for the most part is above that 50%, and it's ranking pretty good. Pretty good. Let's do something. Let's do, since the Bitcoin, Ethereum phrases have been off the charts. Yeah, so this is a perfectly good model here. So you can see it was pretty much flatline, 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 and then 2016 it starts gaining, and then you can see where it is just off the charts hot. So really anything in there, if you were probably look at Ethereum journal. For instance, nothing. If you do run across a word and nothing is there, then in most cases you would say, well, that may not be. You look at this and go, I'm not going to purchase that domain. Well, I may likely purchase something like this Ethereum journal, or even if you were to go daily. Let's see what it chimes back. So daily is another one that has actually fallen to below 25%, but you can see for the most part, in terms of the current time frame, it is pretty much on point. That I would say, hey, this is a great domain, to purchase. We'll do one more, Ethereum wallet. So ethereumwallet.com will be a good one. Likely most of these are already taken. But you never know. You may want to try to mine or use this tool to mine whatever your specific industry is for keywords. Like I said, I will typically use it for my geo um, domains, and so I will typically try to purchase something like austintherapy.com. So as you can see, this is trending well above the 50% mark, and so something like austintherapy.com will be a good domain. But also what I would also purchase is if your city has abbreviations. So like here in Austin, we use a lot of times ATX therapy. Nothing's going to show up, but Google is smart enough to realize when it says ATX that is associated with Austin. So it's going to treat Austin therapy just the same, or rather treat ATX therapy just the same as Austin therapy. And the ATX therapy would actually be seen more as a geo service brandable domain, versus this straight up just geo plus that service. And so you can use this a number of different ways. So, like for instance, if you wanted to compare Austin Therapy to Austin Therapist, and then you may want to add another in that says Austin Therapists, plural. And you can begin to see here, once all of these line up, you can see it color codes them. So you can see AustinTherapy.com is likely the domain that you want. Not to say that Austin Therapist or Therapist couldn't work. If it were me, and I would say develop on AustinTherapy.com, own the other two, and then have them redirected to the primary domain. And so this is just one tool that I use, um, ultimately to kind of decipher if I'm looking at a couple hundred names in a given day. I'll go here if I see a name with one bid on it. I'll go here just to really try to make a decision. Now, obviously, I use other details as well in terms of you want to go look at the web archive and see if it's ever been used. You want to see if the domains have been blacklisted, or ever been used, as any sort of spammy type website. So this is just one aspect of consideration that I use in terms of deciding whether or not to bid or purchase an expired domain auction. So I hope that this helped you quite a bit. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message below. And I invite you to sign up and subscribe to the YouTube channel for Kickstart Commerce, as well as come on over and visit us at kickstartcommerce.com, where I share insights on search marketing as well as domain name investing strategies for how to market and advertise your business and take it to the next level. So stay tuned. Feel free to watch other videos. And again, visit us at kickstartcommerce.com. Thanks for your time.